2 Kings chapter 5. Naaman, commander of the king of Aram's army, was highly respected and esteemed by his master, because through him Adonai had brought victory to Aram. But although he was a brave warrior, he also suffered from Zara'at, infectious disease. Now in one of their raids into Israel's territory, Aram carried away captive a little girl who became a servant for Naaman's wife. She said to her mistress, "I wish my lord could go to the prophet in Shomron. He could heal his Zara'at." Naaman went in and told his lord, "The girl from the land of Israel said such and such." The king of Aram said, "Go now, and I will send a letter to the king of Israel." He set out, taking with him 660 pounds of silver, 6,000 pieces of gold, and 10 changes of clothes. He brought the king of Israel the letter, which said, "When this letter reaches you, you will see that I have sent my servant Naaman to you, so that you can heal his Zara'at." When the king of Israel finished reading the letter, he tore his clothes. "Am I God, able to kill and make alive?" he asked, "so that he sends me a man to heal of Zara'at? You can see that he is only seeking an excuse to quarrel with me." But when Elisha the man of God heard that the king of Israel had torn his clothes, he sent a message to the king. "Why did you tear your clothes? Just have him come to me, and he will know that there is a prophet in Israel." So Naaman came with his horses and chariots and stood at the door of Elisha's house. Elisha sent a messenger to him, who said, "Go and bathe in the Yarden 7 times. Your skin will become as it was, and you will be clean." But Naaman became angry and left, saying, "Here now, I thought for certain that he would come out personally, and he would stand, call on the name of Adonai his God, and wave his hand over the diseased place, and thus heal the person with Zara'at. Aren't Amanah and Pharpar, the rivers of Damascus, better than all the water in Israel? Why can't I bathe in them and be clean?" So he turned and went off in rage. But his servants approached him and said, "My father, if the prophet had asked you to do something really difficult, wouldn't you have done it? So doesn't it make even more sense to do what he says, when it's only bathe and be clean?" So he went down and immersed himself 7 times in the Yarden, as the man of God had said to do. And his skin was restored and became like the skin of a child, and he became clean. Then with his whole retinue he returned to the man of God, went and stood before him, and said, "Well, I've learned that there is no God in all the earth except in Israel. Therefore, please accept a present from your servant." But Elisha answered, "As Adonai lives, before whom I stand, I will not accept it." And despite his urging him to take it, he refused. So Naaman said, "If you won't take it, then please let your servant be given as much earth as 2 mules can carry, because from now on your servant will offer neither burnt offerings nor sacrifices to other gods, but only to Adonai. Accept this, and may Adonai forgive your servant for it. When my master goes into the temple of Rimmon to worship there, and he leans on my hand, and I bow down in the temple of Rimmon, when I bow down, may Adonai forgive your servant for this." Elisha said to him, "Go in peace." Naaman had gone only a short distance from him, when Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said to himself, "Here my master has made it easy on this army Naaman by not accepting from him what he bought. As Adonai lives, I'll run after him and get at least something from him." So Gehazi hurried off after Naaman. When Naaman saw someone running after him, he got down from his chariot to meet him and asked, "Is everything all right?" "Yes," he replied. "My master sent me with this message. 2 young men have just now come to me, guild prophets from the hills of Ephraim. Would you be kind enough to give them a talent of silver, 66 pounds, and 2 changes of clothes?" "By all means, take 2 talents, said Naaman, pressing him. He tied up the 2 talents of silver in 2 bags and gave them, with the 2 changes of clothes, to 2 of his servants who carried them ahead of Gehazi. On reaching the hill, he took the bags from them and put them away in the house. Then he let the men go, and they left. He went in and stood before his master. Elisha asked, "Where have you been, Gehazi?" "Your servant hasn't gone anywhere," he said. Elisha said to him, "Wasn't my heart there with you when the man left his chariot to meet you? Is this a time to receive silver and clothing, and olive groves and vineyards and sheep and oxen and male and female slaves? Therefore Naaman's Zara'at will cling to you and your descendants forever." He left Elisha's presence with Zara'at as white as snow.